Never gonna get old.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? And welcome to Seven Kinds of Mischief. I'm your host, Tone Loki, and with me today, of course, is the one and only, the Doctor of Disaster and Destruction, the Mad Doctor, Adega Outlaw.
Delayed by 2 minutes because Twitter was not kind.
I don't know what the heck happened.
I don't either.
We were shooting out invites and he didn't get one, and then I sent it out again, then he got both of them at the same time. It was weird. Twitter being Twitter.
Yeah, that's all right.
How the hell are you doing, man? How's your week been?
It's been all right. Been kind of weird, but it's okay.
Strange and unusual weird, or just wacky, crazy kind of weird?
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah. Yes to everything.
Yes.
All the underlining things, yes.
Fire and brimstone, dogs and cats, yeah, the whole thing.
Living together, mass hysteria. I've seen shit that'll turn you white.
Yeah, I bet it has. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a little crazy. I'm hoping tomorrow doesn't get crazier. Little issues with Sparta here and there, but she is back in business. And
interesting show this morning.
Indeed it was. One of the more interesting shows. Yeah, no canceling people. Don't cancel people. Don't try and cancel people.
Well,
that's their job, not ours.
Canceled are the ones that have put themselves on death row. Otherwise,
that's right.
People talk.
That's right. That's right. They'll burn themselves. You'll figure it out.
Yep.
They'll burn themselves, and you'll figure it out.
Yep.
There's no denying that.
I agree. The only ones who want things to be canceled are those people who have something to hide themselves.
That's right. And they will cancel themselves. Trust me, I've been here 2 years now. I've seen it all. I've watched it all. Nothing surprises me anymore. What people do, and eventually they'll get caught and they'll cancel themselves.
Right. Didn't mean to continue your topic from this morning, but it was interesting. I want to let you know I thoroughly, I don't know, do you enjoy something like that? I wasn't captivated, I guess is a good word.
Get fired up?
I'm always fired up.
Oh, yeah. Adega is the reason there are fireballs running through chat right now. Adega, the fired. Adega brought the fire.
Yeah, you get to hear me talking nice and mellow and calm and everything, but you have no idea how
the whole keep the fires
underneath there.
The whole keep the fires burning bright, and all that got started by Adega. So.
Yeah. No, but it's a pleasure to be here, and I love the intro as always. That is the highlight of the week.
That's one of my favorite. I don't want to change anything about it. I've changed every intro I've done, but since we started running that one, I'm like, there's nothing to change. It's perfect.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Something to keep. Hello, everybody out there. Everyone that said hello to us. Hello back. I do.
Indeed. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Catman, Dee Myers, Pat S., Loki Wolf Whisperer, Mark the Infinitely Tired, and Chris Persia, the Bash Brother Wrenches are here. I do not see our third one, but he's probably hanging out and taking names and stealing lollipops. And I know Fat Steven's stealing lollipops.
Yeah, you gave the big guy a wrench. I wonder if his bloated, overweight arms are able to reach out and grab it from the distance.
Oh,
keeps it prevented. That's kind of tough,
Damn. Oh, damn. Adega Outlaw. If Fat Steven was out there, he'd be like, what the hell, dude? Right there in chat right now. What the hell, man? Oh, I forget you work with him on Mondays. So
yeah.
God, we love you, Fat Steven. It's like picking on the little brother. We love you.
Yes. Yes, and throwing them sausages. Let's keep the weight on.
That's right. So
Well,
what have you got for us tonight?
not a lot. Not a lot. It's been a funky week here. But I did. The last thing I sent you on the Twitter, that little clip,
Yeah.
got me thinking about something. And like I said, it's not very much, but it's probably stuff that a lot of people haven't realized. Is there any way that you can play that little clip, the link from Twitter?
Hold
If you
on.
can't, that's fine. But I thought it was
I bet you I can. Give me just 1 second.
because I want people to see it.
Let me
If it's at all possible.
I'm
And this is one of the ones
sure
where I
we can.
appreciate your input because knowing your background and everything, it was probably something that you know a lot about.
Can you see that? Can everybody see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it looks fine.
Okay. Let me make sure we got sound. I don't know if there's going to be any sound or not. Damn.
Yep. Now, first guess, what would you think that was?
A gas main blowing up, a car.
Could be.
I don't know. It was either the gas main went because that looked like it blew the whole damn house down.
It did. Or someone doing a meth lab or, things like that.
Wow. What was that?
Well, don't know. But if you follow the Twitter feed, most people are thinking, oh, that's lightning. Well, I didn't see any bolts.
No,
There wasn't
there.
a massive flash of light.
It would have been. You would have seen a massive flash of light. You would have seen. You would have seen the blue bolt, and you would have seen a flame, because that just doesn't. It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
If you've ever seen a lightning strike like really close to you, there will be a flame. You will never forget it. It's like a fireball coming out from where it hits.
Right. Right. When I was a kid, I came pretty close, knocked me on my butt. Me and a bunch of buddies were ditching class. In California, the classrooms aren't in one building. You can, as soon as you leave a room, you are outside, walk into your next room. And we decided to ditch lunch when it was raining. They had everyone in the cafeteria. So we snuck out. We're running down the hall, and a bolt of lightning went right above. We could see it just maybe 2 meters or 3 meters from a child's eyes, what it looked like, how close it was. But it threw us up against the wall. So yeah, we were pretty close.
It looks like something like right here. That would have taken her head off. If she hadn't ducked like that,
right.
I think that would have taken her head clean off.
Right. And you can see it expands up and then comes down too.
Because she's right here, and that thing's like headed right towards her. You get the blast, you get that looks like a window from something or a windshield, and then this right here, that's going like right where she was. Yeah, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
Well, the reason I brought that up, like I said, there was a lot of people in the Twitter feed that kept going, oh, that's lightning. That's lightning. I'm going, no. I threw out something weird just to see what people would say, and it didn't get any response because I don't know if a lot of people know what it is. And I know you know. And I kind of wanted to discuss it, but it's going to be a brief discussion, just something weird.
DJ Ronnie G said it was my fault. Hashtag blame Loki. $2 super chat. DJ Ronnie G. I don't know what, but Loki did it. Yep.
Loki did it.
Loki did it.
Thank
you, DJ Ronnie G.
If someone does say "do," would you know what that is?
A directed energy weapon.
Yes. For some reason, my mind went there first instead of thinking of the simple things, like propane tank blew up or what have you. And so I thought, well, maybe a lot of people don't realize we've had these for a while. And some bad things have been happening with these directed energy weapons. And I wanted to share just a few things with it. Everyone knows that California has fallen off the deep end, and they've done a lot of political things to chase people out of the state, buying up property, trying to pass these eminent domains where we're going to run a rail through here and a rail through there, taking people's farmland, starving them out, just getting the property back from the people. And a few years back, you guys remember there was a ton of different fires. Some people were blaming it on these the instigators that started some of the anti-government Black Lives Matter type things where they were running around, and they did catch a few people doing this, but there were some other things that were unexplained. Some of the footage in images have been very difficult as of late to find. I've gone back to try and find them. Some of you may have seen them. But there is a small fringe group, and I'm not drawing any conclusions with this one. You're just going to have to take it or leave it. I'm not going to tell you because I don't know. This isn't one where I've made any conclusions on. But there are some weird things involved with some of these fires. I sent Loki some images. It doesn't matter which one you bring up, but I do want to talk about what had happened. This was in 2017 when California was having a rush of different fires. You look here. This is a helicopter image of one of the neighborhoods that burnt. They said it was wildfires. If that were true, how come we still have trees standing? Another thing, too, is you look at these houses that were leveled. If you've ever seen a burnt neighborhood, it looks a little bit different than this. It's very, very similar, but there are some differences. One of the things, there's a lot of new cars, that were brought in afterwards, but periodically you'll be able to pick up, like there's the pool there, and you go a little bit to the left of the pool, you'll see a ring of trees, and then there's a car sitting there a little bit cockeyed, and that was melted. In order to melt a car with its aluminum, it would have to be 1,221 degrees to melt that aluminum. The trees, even green ones, would set fire at 520 degrees. There's no way that car should melt and those trees still stand. All right, let's see another picture. This is where people started thinking there's something going on besides. Here, look at the concrete or the asphalt all the way around. Look at the trees all the way around, and look at the car. And you see the melted stuff? That is aluminum. The whole asphalt all the way around that, not just the little meter ring, but it should have gone even further. That car melted in spot by some instant, really, really hot heat, and it came from somewhere, and yet you don't see any of it around. And they blame that on a forest fire. If you ask me, it doesn't look like it. Not at going 1,221 degrees. Let's go ahead and go to another one. There's a little video clip of about 50 seconds we'll eventually show. Here again is another neighborhood. Green trees all around, leveled houses. Now, a friend of mine, at least his parents, he was the guy who he won like 5 Emmys for doing the music for Game of Thrones. So I know his family really well. His house was one of these, not necessarily in this neighborhood, but his went. And he was fortunate enough to have a friend that was able to help him out. And of course, his Emmys are at his parents' house, which I should have taken a picture of with, but never did. But specific areas, specific tracks were taken out while others weren't. There is a video, some of you can probably find it. I've seen it. I have it somewhere on my hard drive and I wasn't able to find it. But it was of a orchard, grape. It was a winery, and they had a 24-hour surveillance that was running, and it also went on battery backup. and the power went out, and there were incidences on the video from outside where they saw a blue streak coming down and hitting areas, and then they would catch fire. It wasn't like lightning, it was straight, it was instant, and then gone. I don't know of a weapon that will do that. I don't know of ball lightning doesn't act like that. Regular lightning doesn't act like that. Many of you have probably seen transformers where they superheat and burn out and cause power outages, and they don't cause straight streaks in the sky. But there's video evidence of that. The hypothesis with some people is that this was just terrorists or natural fires, or fires that went because they didn't do the back burn that they should have to clean up these areas to make sure that they don't have these runaway fires, all of which are quite feasible and probably true for some of these areas. The other one is, like I said, a directed energy weapon. There are several different types, and they are in theater today. The Arabs have already used one against a Chinese-made drone and brought it down. We have used them. We have them on planes and ships now, where they will heat the target and cause the internal mechanisms to short out and stop whatever it is, whether it be a missile, a plane, or what have you.
They can target the fuel tanks on a plane as well and ignite the fuel in a plane.
Right. The hypothesis, though, is there, like that one car that we saw before, how does a car do that in a forest fire with everything else being still green, including the asphalt? If you could figure out a way that happens, I'd like to hear it. Like I said, I'm not drawing any conclusions, except I've seen the streaks. And then this one little video, which I think is really interesting, if there's any way that you could play it. There's no sound to it, but this is a satellite image, and it was, the contrast was adjusted highly because I'm colorblind, and seeing red is very difficult for me. But this is authentic from those times. The red marks are where there were certain fires that were going on in the state of California, and the outline is drawn because the contrast is so changed that you can't normally see it with this way. But see that line, and the intensity of the fire takes off right after that line. This isn't the only video like that from satellite images, and this is slowed down. I just wanted to throw that out to you, whether this is done by our government to move people from certain areas so they can buy up the property for whatever reason. There's hypothesis that thinks that that's what's going on in New York, why they've kept the mandates so strong and forced out businesses that they could buy these buildings cheap and turn around and rebuild afterwards, and they own that much more. Or there's a hypothesis that a foreign nation was doing this to cause issues with this, because both the Russians and the Chinese have versions of directed energy weapons. We've had them for quite a long time. Ours are obviously quite precise and more powerful, but I don't know. But I wanted to leave that out for you to let you know that the possibility that there are forces out there zapping from space are pretty high. There's also, I didn't get it in time, but there's also one of, and some of you have probably seen this too, of a image taken from the space shuttle where they were tracking an object in orbit that they didn't know it was. And the object made an immediate right turn and accelerated away, followed by a bolt that came from the surface and streaked out into orbit far faster than we launch any missiles, which would mean there was a directed energy weapon launched at something and it dodged it in orbit. And that's a real image. It comes from a real video. It's a space shuttle thing. It's not one of those fakes. So that I just wanted to show that to you, let you know there's some weird stuff out there. If it surprises some of you, well, there it is. Uh, if you guys already knew, sorry, but I found that one video with that house blowing up. It reminded me of some of this stuff that we went through, 5, 6 years ago.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much for sharing that with us. That video is nuts. The house and that one we just watched, absolutely insane.
It is weird. It is very weird.
So tonight we are going to read a story that we read shortly after the first two parts of Journal of Psychopath.
Yay!
And this has direct correlations to what we talked about this morning. How much does fame and fortune cost?
Oh, I know this one. All right, I'm going to shut up.
That's a question that ate at me for years, and a question that I unfortunately found the answer to. Now, modest wealth and even minor fame alone are much less costly. You can achieve that from commitment and hard work to something that can be revenue generating. The commitment required is so extreme that it could probably be characterized as an obsession. This can be anything from creating a successful tech startup to making hundreds of YouTube videos or supercars with purple Lamborghinis. The problem is that even modest wealth costs years and years of hard work and commitment. If simple wealth is what you want, I implore you to take that route. Don't make the same mistake I did. Years of hard work and sacrifice for modest wealth wasn't good enough for me. No, I had a gluttonous desire for two things: fame and fortune. But I wanted it the easy way. I had not the fixation nor the drive to spend years developing a local business or next generation startup. I wanted the quick way to instant success. I had heard rumors and legends about anybody could get it, so I set off to find it. Honestly, it wasn't difficult for me. She could sense it. She knows if you are desperate enough that you would undergo incomprehensible atrocities in order to achieve it. I vividly remember the night that I sold my soul. No, it's not a myth, and the devil is real. I didn't even need to find her. She found me. My soul must have reeked of desperation. She came to me at a bar while I enviously gazed from the corner at beautiful women flocking toward the handsome man who wore expensive clothing and showed off an impressive Jaguar. I never saw her walk into the bar or even make her way toward my lonesome little corner. I turned my head, and there she was, the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. The red lights of the bar reflected off her luscious black hair and dark gray eyes. I scrambled for some sort of pickup line, but before any words could make their way out of my mouth, she leaned in, teasingly, putting her lips just centimeters from mine. "I know what you desire," she whispered, stroking my cheek with her soft fingers. "I know your dreams, and I can give it to you all. I can give you everything you want." With only a slight pause, I closed the gap. As soon as our lips touched, the bar, the people around me, they all faded away in black smoke to be replaced with a new setting. I found myself sitting in a dark movie theater. The dark red seats were empty, other than myself and the beautiful woman that was sitting next to me. I pulled away, scared and confused at what had just happened to me. I thought that maybe someone had spiked my beer with some sort of drug. "Sit down and watch," the beautiful woman said. The lights dimmed, and then the screen came to life. As the woman had told me to, I sat down and I watched. On the big screen played videos of me, but it was a very different me. Instead of staring at a broken TV in my studio apartment, I was living my wildest dreams. I was beautiful, I was rich, and I was famous. The videos showed me driving cars far more expensive than the average house, living in an expensive mansion, walking down the red carpet with 2 beautiful models, one on each arm. People screamed as I walked down the aisle, shoving papers towards me, begging me for an autograph. The video cut off and changed entirely. Now it showed the real, unkept me, living my disparaging life. The video showed me getting rejected by every girl I had the guts to talk to. I saw myself with slumped shoulders, waiting tables for snobs that I hated, taking long draws from my metal flask in a trashy bathroom. Finally, it showed me utterly alone in my apartment. The only social interactions coming from the cheap prostitutes I brought home. I started crying pathetically right there, right in that theater, watching the ugly truth of my life filled with self-destructive thoughts and behavior. I looked over at this beautiful woman who stared at me intently, who enjoyed my despair. "Who are you?" I asked. "Oh, but you already know who I am, and you already know what I can do for you," she responded with an ice-cold smile. She was right. We both knew who she was. She was the devil. Before this moment, I wasn't sure if she was real, but I desperately wanted the opportunity to make my deal. She found me. She didn't even have to ask. We both knew that I would do anything to live that other reality. The movie theater disappeared in another wave of black smoke, and now I sat in a black room with multiple video cameras pointed to the center of the room. With very few words, she explained to me that I would have to do in order to obtain that reality of fame and fortune that I so desperately craved. The reality that she promised she could give me. I accepted her offer with haste, without even thinking it over. What I did next was the most heinous, awful thing any human being could ever do. My actions were so terrible that I will not speak of it ever. I can't explain the shame I feel every day knowing what I did and who I selfishly hurt. The very fact that I wanted easy fame and fortune so badly that I willingly committed these atrocities that so few people would ever do proves that I am a true monster. I wish I could say that I was forced to do it, but that's not true. I had a choice. I could have walked away right then and gone back to my meager life with a new resolution to work hard for success. I should have chosen that course of action, but I didn't. Instead, I used my last moment of free will to choose to do horrible things for my promised fame and fortune. She watched every last moment with a smile on her face and a song in her heart. After I was done, she placed a large piece of brown parchment on a small black table. It was the contract. Next to the contract lay a black knife. I should have read the contract. As directed, I eagerly sliced my hand and let my blood pour onto the contract. The deal was done, and the sale was complete. The devil rolled up the contract with a smile on her face, and again, the scene faded away to black. I woke the next morning thinking that I simply had had a vivid and wild dream. With a disappointed sigh, I got up out of bed and walked to the bathroom. After splashing water on my face, I looked up at the mirror to find that my body had changed. A smile crept onto my face. It had really happened. I was more beautiful than I could have possibly dreamed. I was the version of myself that the devil had shown me in that movie theater. I picked up my phone to find that I had a voicemail from the man I now know as my agent. He told me that she had assigned him to me and that I had a confirmed appointment with my new recording studio the following day. Per his directions, I found my first-class plane ticket on my dining table next to a brand new designer watch. An expensive, freshly tailored suit waited for me in my closet. A suitcase sat by the door filled with designer clothing that I would have never been able to afford on my own. I put on my suit and watch, grabbed my luggage, and left that shitty-ass apartment and everything in it behind. A driver in a black luxury car waited for me outside to drive me to the airport. Within a few months, my record-breaking album was released, and I immediately had it all. Beauty, fame, fortune, and new talents that she had given me. I live in an exclusive gated mansion with tens of millions of dollars worth of cars in the garage. My financial accounts have 9 zeros, and I'm constantly surrounded by exclusive celebrities and beautiful women everywhere I go. Anytime I'm in public, people anxiously await a simple handshake or autograph. If only they knew what these hands had done. You see, it may seem like I have it all. There's one thing that I lost that I'll never have again. I no longer have my free will. I am forced to do everything and anything that I am told. I wear what I'm told to wear. I sing what I'm told to sing. I say what I'm told to say. I go where I'm told to go, and I do what I'm told to do. I even tweet what I'm told to tweet. Like so many before me, I'm just the devil's puppet of influence. The worst part is, those horrible actions that I did, they weren't a one-time thing. As I said, I should have read the contract. Once a year, I'm forced to do it again. I tried to refuse once, but she owns my soul. With a simple snap of her fingers, I was instantly overcome with a pain worse than you could possibly imagine as I begged for her to make it stop. Try that one more time, she warned, and I will rip your soul to pieces. So back to our question. How much does fame and fortune cost? Everything. And again, a story from our friend R.M. Staniforth.
Yeah, I remember that one. We had a good discussion afterwards. That was when we were just starting to cover some of the dark secrets of Hollywood, and it fits so well.
It does. It absolutely does. Dummies should just buy bots. Monkey Jeebus.
This is awesome.
Wow, the devil was Kathleen Kennedy. Who knew? Hollywood in a nutshell. Dave Bob.
It's not all of them, but there are an awful lot. You see a lot more of it in just like this story in the music business. And you see it over and over through all the different music videos. White and black checkered floors, butterflies, tigers. The symbolism is all there, and the reason why they all look similar and repeat is because they're all doing the same thing.
That's right. That's right. And crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. I talked about that one time back then too, where you'll see photographs where they always have covered, or they're behind a tree, they have their hand in front of it, one reason or another, hair in front of their eye. It's always one eye. That's another symbol that they use, that they have sold themselves.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for listening in. I am getting these out on the channel. I'm in the middle of recording the first one. I'm hoping to have it done by the weekend. But thank you all for being here. We're going to add that one to the list. As many of those as I can do, we're going to get on the channel. So, thank you guys. Thank you, Adega, for being here tonight, brother.
As always, this is great. You guys are great. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I know we're cutting out a little early, but we will be back next week. We're going to have a great show tomorrow night. Mexican Iron Man will not be there, but we are going to have a party anyway. Hopefully everything goes well tomorrow and I'm not frozen in here and I have power. I've got water. I've got stuff to stay warm. All that stuff's taken care of. Food, water. It's just whether or not I'll have power tomorrow will be interesting. Thank you so much, Lady Miss. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the excellent Thursday night. Everybody, be excellent. Be kind to each other and always speak friend to enter. And we will catch you guys next time.
Catch you later.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.